As the crew of the Astral Wanderer stepped off the ship and onto the desolate surface of Caloran, a thick, eerie silence greeted them. The air, though breathable, felt heavy as though the very planet itself was holding its breath. The ruins that surrounded them towered over them, ancient stone structures etched with symbols too intricate for the crew to understand. There was a hum in the air, a faint vibration that seemed to resonate from deep within the planet, sending chills down their spines. "We're not alone here," Captain Riven muttered, more to himself than to anyone else. The others nodded silently, their eyes scanning the ruins with a mixture of awe and caution. Each step they took felt like a step into the unknown, a place where ancient secrets and forgotten truths waited to be uncovered. Lyra, the ship's lead scientist, held up a small device in her hand, scanning the environment. "This planet was once alive with energy," she said, her voice tinged with wonder. "These readings, they're unlike anything I've ever seen." They moved deeper into the ruins, the colossal stone statues of alien beings watching them with empty eyes. As they ventured further, they came upon a massive stone doorway, its surface adorned with symbols that glowed faintly as if responding to their presence. "Could this be it?" Riven asked, his voice barely a whisper. Without waiting for a response, Lyra stepped forward and began to trace her fingers over the symbols. As she did, the stone began to shift, a low rumble filling the air. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and then, with a sound like ancient machinery grinding to life, the massive door slowly opened, revealing the chamber beyond. Inside, the room was bathed in a soft, golden light. At the center of the room lay a pedestal, atop which rested a strange, glowing crystal. It pulsed with an energy that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space itself. Surrounding the pedestal were more symbols, this time moving, shifting as though alive. "This is it," Lyra breathed. "The artifact from the legend." Riven stepped forward cautiously, his eyes fixed on the crystal. As he drew closer, a voice filled the room, soft at first like a whisper but growing louder with each passing second. It was a language no one on the crew had ever heard before, yet somehow, it felt familiar, as if their minds were grasping at its meaning. The words were clear now, as if the language was being translated directly into their thoughts. "The future is not written in stone but in the stars. What is to come can be changed, but at a cost. You are the ones who will face this choice." Riven's heart raced. He could feel the weight of the words pressing down on him. The message wasn't just a warning, it was a call to action. The future, whatever it was, lay in their hands. Suddenly, the crystal flickered and a burst of light erupted from it, blinding them momentarily. When the light faded, a new figure stood before them. It was humanoid but made of pure energy, its form flickering in and out of existence, as though it was not bound by the same rules of reality that they were. "You have come," the figure said, its voice echoing in their minds. "You are the chosen ones, the ones who will decide the fate of all. The message you received was but a glimpse, a warning. The end is near, but it is not inevitable." Lyra took a step forward, her eyes wide with awe. "Who are you?" The figure paused, its form shifting. "I am one of many who have come before, those who have passed through the corridors of time. I was once a guardian of Caloran, the keeper of its secrets. But now I am but a fragment, a shadow of what was." Riven took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing thoughts. "What do you mean by the end? What is coming?" The figure's gaze seemed to pierce him, its light flickering like distant stars. "The cataclysm that the signal spoke of, it is real. A force older than the stars themselves is awakening. A force that will consume everything unless you choose to stop it." Lyra shook her head, confusion and fear mixing in her expression. "But we don't know how. We can't change fate, can we?" The figure's light pulsed brighter, its voice softer now. "You have the power, but only if you are willing to pay the price. The knowledge you seek is hidden within the crystal. But once you unlock its secrets, there will be no going back. The future will bend to your will, but at a cost." Riven stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest. "What kind of cost?" The figure's form flickered again and a cold chill swept through the room. "The price of the future is always steep. You may lose your own existence or be forced to sacrifice something you hold dear. The choice is yours." A deep silence filled the chamber as the crew stood in stunned disbelief. The weight of the decision pressed down on them all, change the future but lose something of themselves in the process. "Are we truly ready for this?" Riven asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The figure nodded, its light dimming. "The path you choose will echo across the stars. The future is not set in stone but in your hands. Will you act or will you let the end come?" With those final words, the figure began to fade, leaving the crew standing alone before the glowing crystal. The room was silent once more, the hum of the ancient energy resonating in their bones. Riven's mind raced. The fate of the galaxy rested on their shoulders, but at what cost? Would they be willing to risk everything to change the future, to prevent the cataclysm that loomed ahead? As the crew gathered around the crystal, ready to make their choice, the future seemed both uncertain and inevitable. They had the power to change it, but they also knew that some forces in the universe were too powerful to fully understand. The message from the future had been delivered, but the true journey was only just beginning.
Hey there. If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our exciting adventures.